So even more community managers are coming out in droves against grums and gamers, talking about how evil white male gamers are the problem in the gaming industry, and that black girl gamers and Sweet Baby Inc. and other companies like those are really the victims, while the gamers are the villains. These community managers, they have no interest in actually engaging with the community. This is something that they admit themselves, apparently, and we'll be going through some of these tweets that have come up recently, and then we will discuss a couple of other things. But first, before we get started, we actually have an update about the Ubisoft community manager that was saying a whole bunch of horrible things, but apparently Shauna C. Jones, that same community manager, she deleted her Twitter account, which is something that I have not yet seen from one of these people yet. But this is some crazy stuff. This is what Grum said. The Ubisoft community manager who posted DEI activism has deleted their Twitter account. And I'm actually going to show you exactly what that person said, but their Twitter account is gone, guys. I reported on this just yesterday. If you take a look at this image here, Shauna Jones from August 22, this is shameful behavior, proof that we can't make the games industry a safe and inclusive space when the higher-ups don't understand the importance of diversity and are all middle-aged white guys. She also said something terrible about Ninja, which I think I forgot to read yesterday. Ninja is boasting about his white privilege by doing this. I'm pretty sure the people lying on the floor fearing for their lives in the Capitol building. Oh yeah. I mean, if you guys want to read that, you can check that out for yourself. Gamer boys ruin online games. Love that if you say you're trying to be more body positive, white men assume that you're saying you're fat and tell you to go to the gym. B, I'm a size 12. Shauna Jones says again, I don't imagine many women wanting to play this game. I can't believe it's a game. The whole aspect of this is just horrifying. It just doesn't help. It was developed by an all-white male team either. Please don't tell me gender isn't an issue in the games industry when you are a white male. She says again, if you're a white dude complaining that diversity being raised is an issue, then people are going to keep raising the lack of diversity until we see change, which I assume means, or I can only imagine it means, removing white people from the equation. And then she goes on to say again, I was put off with the main character you play as being a white male. I'd have picked it up straight away if I could have been a female. I think I want to be a bad A like Ray. Oh no, that's a terrible example. I've never received one. Everyone loves me. And then Shauna responds, that's probably because you're a white male. I'm enjoying playing Days Gone, but at the same time, the lack of diversity really upsets me because the main character of that game is a white male. And this person said, know what you mean. It's a real love-hate story. And then she says, like, even the camps are full of white people. She hates white people, guys. Can you imagine? Yay, diversity finally. No more middle-aged white men. Ooh, that looks painful. You CRACKER, be safe. Just straight up calls a dude a slur. And then she says again, I know the industry itself is maturing, but the gamers, man, they need to sort themselves out. And this is something that community managers think about when they're thinking about gamers. This is the first thing that pops into their head, apparently. But when you call them out on it, they can't help but delete their account. This is the stage that we are at. People deleting their accounts instead of sitting down, taking account for what they have done and having a conversation about it. No, they would rather block you, delete their account, go protected, anything but talking to gamers about this stuff, right? But let's move on because I've got other interesting things to talk to you guys about. Now, this is from Grums, and this is from today. Another community manager, of course, this is a shame, advanced senior community manager for Insomniac Games, actually, on second thought, now it makes much more sense. So a person who worked on Spider-Man 2 and Ratchet defends Dirty Effin' Hippie's tweets, talks about his desire for political violence. This person that he's defending is the one who said that she was being harassed through emails on her own website, although she only had one email that had the N-word in it, although the claim was that, you know, she was getting a bunch of hate mail. But from what a lot of people saw, not only could you fake the email that you input in there so anybody could send an email to this address, but most of the emails that she showed in her own videos displayed that she was getting a lot of support from the other side, not being harassed by a bunch of people, although she did get some hate mail. The problem is that we normal gamers were being roped into that mess, thrown under the bus, because a claim was made by this person that it was gamers on the other side of the DEI argument who were doing that. But this is the Insomniac Games person. This is Sweet Baby Inc. directly related, because Spider-Man 2 had heavy involvement from Sweet Baby Inc. And they have some crazy things to say. There are a lot of tweets going back in time. This has been something that has sparked a lot of controversy controversy because they're like, how dare you dig up the past? And they try to dig up the past on Grums. But the thing about these people's thoughts is that they endure to this very day. Some of these tweets really are interesting. So Aaron Jason Espinoza, advanced senior community manager at Insomniac Games, spicy food enjoyer, drone pilot, streamer, tweets are Drake's my dog. So this is what he said on April 6th. This is 2 days ago. Liana's ascent into gaming is one of hard work and dedication to her craft and just being a great person all around. She's one person who inspired me to be greater through her work as a CM, journalist, and content creator. Much respect to you, dirty effing hippie. So let's go back a little bit in time and see what kind of person he's become because of Liana. So back in 2022, cis straight white men aren't marginalized and are far more privileged than the other two you listed. They're also likely to be in greater positions of influence. And then later he says, a black protagonist killing non-POC, this is white genocide. The white genocide is so real, I am offended. I'm gonna make a whole Twitter account dedicated to my rage. Did they give that little weird A white kid with a chili bowl cut a bulletproof vest? Figures, they'll just gun down everyone else. Pigs. So this guy's white, by the way. Just wanted to point that out. This seems to be a trend lately. Trump can catch these effing hands. He says earlier in 2011, I'd never punch a woman, but I'd do anything to punch Wendy Williams in the face for a day. I don't even think she passes off as a woman. How could you assume her gender? How evil of you. Can someone beat Tucker Carlson's butt already? Oh my goodness. Well, I don't want to say that these people are cut from the same cloth, but I am seeing a lot of very similar ideas being shared amongst these community managers lately. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know what you guys think. All right, so let's talk about this Epic Games senior programmer, Evan Kinney, who Packer Girl says reveals he believes that racism against white people doesn't exist. Where have we heard that before? Oh, Kotaku senior editors and other community managers who are all saying the same exact thing. Go figure. In a Dr. S. Peach Juices says you can't be racist against white people in a Western country. Super simple. A 5-second Google shows why, because Google is the answer to everything, right? That's where we base the foundation of our knowledge. On what we can find out on Google. This person goes on to say there is a racial prejudice, bigotry, but you can't be racist against the majority race. Sorry, not a thing. And then Zero Sugar responds with, we feel differently. Racist anti-white hate is the most important issue right now. And then guess who responds? The Epic Games senior programmer. Kinda weird to have a thing that doesn't exist as your most important issue. There are just so many people who apparently believe that it's completely okay to say horrible things to white people because you're in the clear. Since white people have the power in this country, allegedly the institutional power, that means that people can be as racist as they want to us, and we can't do anything about it. We can't push back, and we can't claim to be a victim because that just doesn't exist for white people. We're perfect. We deserve the hate that we get, right? Especially white male gamers. You can see that men are a big issue for these people as well. Funny enough, I tried to look at his page and it turns out he blocked me preemptively. So I didn't even know who this guy was, never talked to him before in my life. I'm apparently not the only person that he's been blocking. There might be a blockchain going on right now, but I got blocked and a couple other people I know got blocked. So I guess I just can't see what's going on in his profile. Oh wait, I have a second account. So Evanosaurus Unrural Engine 5.4 Rex. He's a senior programmer at Epic Games, on Fortnite Games, Unreal Engine, tech staff for Games Done Quick, speedrunner, and he's also gay, apparently. T-Rex, who makes silly games, and he's also a he/him. There's a lot going on in that profile. I actually took a look at one of his posts, and I think that the blocking makes a lot more sense now because he goes on to say this, at this point, I'm kind of convinced that Mark Kern is now a parody of himself because JFC, what even is this S? Stop harassing my friends and colleagues, thanks. Okay, so there is some confusion here because Grums has stated multiple times, like in almost every single day now, that harassing is not the answer. He does not condone harassment. Even I, in my videos, do not condone harassment. I've been telling people in my videos, don't go out and harass people. Vote with your wallet, not with your words. And there's nothing that Grums has been saying other than reading people's own words back to them. Everyone's upset with him and saying, how dare you bring up the past? Because he keeps finding these incredibly racist and sexist tweets from these community managers and and game developers that have apparently making games for us for years now, and they're upset about this. Stop reading our own words back to us. And so he calls it harassment. He says that Grums is harassing people, but there's really no basis for this, is there? But don't worry, there is plenty more where that came from. We also have people who worked for Killzone, apparently. Packer Girl always on point with pointing these people out. Please give Packer Girl a follow. Killzone lead writer. Okay, Killzone lead writer turned Sumo Live Ops community manager Jimmy Bowers calls critics, okay, quote unquote, absolutely mind-numbing levels of self-destruction and toxicity from that bunch. So he says right here on his Twitter, imagine coming after community managers, the people who fight your corner, who talk directly to the dev teams to try and give you a voice and get your wants and hopes for a game acted on. Absolutely mind-numbing levels of self-destruction and toxicity from that bunch, huh? Again, a severe lack of understanding. If anybody has seen what these community managers have been saying, aka Compulsion Games community manager, they would see that these people do not like gamers, think that Asians are white adjacent, so they're racist against Asians, and they do not like gamers, so I don't even know why this person is a community manager. And then you have other community managers who are trying to divide the gaming community by making wild claims about Helldivers 2 being woke, and that most of the people they banned from their pages are people who were bigots and racists and transphobes. The direct line to the gaming studios that care so much about gamers have nothing but negative things to say about us most of the time. And then when we push back, they either go protected, block us, or then make up a bunch of lies and then go after people like Grum's physical appearance and age like any of that matters. Because the reality is these guys are adults, but they're not really. They're children in adult bodies. And that is an argument that I have made quite often, because who in their right mind as an adult acts in this ridiculous way? But Packer Girl says they also posted a long thread for those struggling with the concept that not all games are for you, and correctly moderating a community is actually a legal as well as a moral obligation. So a moral obligation to attack men, to attack gamers, attack white males for no reason. Yes, that is a moral obligation for these people. That's what they say. This person said just a short thread for those struggling. So he goes on in his thread saying every game ever, aside from maybe small passion project indies, have gone through a period of market research at that concept phase. What does that have to do with saying racist things towards white males? As part of market and competitor research during this time, you'll start to have an idea about who your target audience is, from age ranges to likes, dislikes. These audience identities are what marketing and community campaigns are built around, but they're not exclusionary. Is that why Sweet Baby Inc. and Black Girl Gamers have such a bad rep right now, and other companies that are pushing DEI related stuff that exclude whites from everything? Not that white people or any normal people would ever want to be involved in companies like these, just like these community managers don't really want to be a community manager for gamers. Because this is what Jimmy Bowers says right here. You'll be pleased to know no one expects us to manage toxic communities and harassment, which is really, really great to know. I'm so pleased he said that. But then Packer Girl finishes off posting another screenshot where he said the chud trying to make Gamergate 2 still happen is now mobilizing people into coming for CMs. And yes, this is something that Chris Kindred, the Sweet Baby Inc. employee who harassed Cabrutus and tried to get him canceled, did. He did just exactly that. But of course, all of the blame is being put on gamers and on Grums. They're basically accusing him of doing the same thing that the people they're defending are doing. And this is something that we have seen a pattern of over the last few weeks. He says a couple notable and awesome CMs already being dragged with just the worst hate and having to go on private. This website is in the toilet. It really is. Well, if this website is in the toilet, it's mainly because people just don't have correct information, or they just don't pay attention at all. And if they did, they would have proper context. And this is why these people look foolish, because they're coming out and defending the very people who attack, harass, and try to get innocent people canceled. But this is something that they don't realize because they're so enveloped in their own beliefs and ideas and their bandwagon mentality that they simply cannot come face to face with common sense. And that's why we have Jimmy Bowers, who is a live ops community manager at Sumo Digital Ltd, previously in Dreams, lead writer for Killzone. I can't believe he's the lead writer for Killzone and saying ridiculous things like this. Author Victory XO proudly pan. Yeah, I wish I didn't read that part, but I did, and now it's stuck in my head forever. But let's take a look at Sumo Digital, right? Made in Sheffield, award-winning game studio, developers of Stampede Racing, Texas Chainsaw Game. But look at this, SWTD game, and more. Check out our open roles. This stuff is ramping up. These people cannot stop, and they're all saying the exact same thing. You can't be racist towards white people. Gamers are the issue. White people are the issue. Blah, 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 blah. It never changes. They have no original thoughts of their own, apparently, which is why Evanosaurus is saying such silly things too. And this is an Epic Games senior programmer, so this is somebody who's been working with Epic Games forever. I don't know if they worked on Gears of War or anything, but they definitely work on Fortnite and more modern games that they've made. And just for verification, Epic Games right here. The guys who made Gears of War, the guys who made Fortnite. Yeah, it's all coming together here. Unreal Engine, tech staff, games done quick. What is that one? Video game marathons featuring high-level play by speedrunners raising money for charity. So what this guy does is speed run, just like he speed ran all the way to the comments section to defend people without having any proper context. And community managers are coming out of the woodworks to defend people who do not deserve the defense, and then the people who are actually attacking, harassing, and trying to get people canceled are just going scot-free, and then everybody's covering their ears and their eyes and pretending that none of these people are saying any of these things, and that only the white male gamers coming out against DEI are the main issue. And this is an idea that is being shared across the board with both game developers, community managers, Xbox execs. I mean, this stuff goes all the way to the top and all the way to the bottom over and over and over again with no end in sight. And this is why we call it out, because I think the more that we call it out and people vote with their wallets and just make an informed decision based on what they see, based on what these people write, it's the only thing that makes sense for the future. I don't expect this to be an easy journey, but it doesn't seem to matter how many times we come out and say, hey, we're not harassing people, we're telling people not to go and harass you, and these people are like, we don't care if they say they're not harassing people, they're harassing people, but we don't have receipts and we're doing the exact same thing. And it's some of the most ridiculous stuff I've ever seen come from apparently adults who are working so high up in the gaming industry, and it is honestly disappointing. Interestingly though, every single time I put out a video, there's this running joke that people say saying that it's getting even more intense with every new video comes out, but it really is, because the more that we talk about it, the more of these people come out of the woodwork to try to say a bunch of nonsense. You're racist, you're bigots, you're white. Like, so what? So are you, dude. You're white. Both of you are white. The guy in Evanosaurus, he's white, and so is Jimmy, he's white. They're all white. So this immature stupidity, I really do think it just needs to continue to be exposed so that you guys can see it, so you can make up your minds, because we don't want this garbage in our industry. We don't want people saying horrible things about white people or black people or Asian people for that matter. Racism is wrong. Prejudice is wrong. And it's not just an exclusive thing to only white people. Okay, racism can be incited by anyone towards anyone. And that is common sense. It doesn't matter how many times you try to tell me that because the institutional power belongs to the white man, you have no say. I just laugh at them and ignore them. They can't tell me what to do, and they certainly cannot tell me how I feel or if I'm a victim or not, because they have no idea who I am, and they probably never will since they keep blocking me. But that's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't had the chance to like it and share it with your friends, that would be awesome. And hey, if you're feeling ultra spicy, consider subscribing to my channel so that you're always up to date on what kind of thing I've got going on. I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Later. Meow meow.